Welcome, everybody. So today is a special day, it's the IoT Day. And in this webinar, we will look especially IoT Day in Africa. How is the African continent embracing the IoT innovation opportunities? And we try to answer a very wide spectrum of questions that I'm sure you have in your mind. For example, on the technical level, how are we? What is the most promising technologies? Where are we heading? Where are we coming from? Right? On the funding level, what is missing? What is already there? Opportunities. The community building, most important. How are people building communities around IoT? And so I will present you the different speakers as we go. And this is our program here. So I'm Corentin Dupont. I'm the technical manager of Waziup, and I will be your moderator. I'm together with also Wilma and Delzi that will do the police. So muting people when there is noise, and we try to keep it interactive, but since we are quite a number of people, best is to write your questions and we'll read them out. And when we come to question and answer, okay, you can also use your microphone. This session will be recorded, so it's already started. So this is our program. You can see my screen. The first is the keynote on IoT in Africa from Dr. Engineer Abdur Rahim. Then we'll see the different projects, IoT projects in Africa. So especially European Commission, that's what we are expert on, and two projects in particular, Wazihub and HUBiquitous. Then the IoT Smart Village in Africa. Smart city, right? We'll see what is a smart village. And then we'll have a session, a panel session with our panelists to discuss the main hot topics we have now on IoT with Prince Banini, Cheikh Diop, Margaret Njenga, and Joshua Opoku. Okay, and we'll finish with the most expected session about the startups, right? We really want to hear from them. So you can see the list. There are different startups on e-health, on agriculture, right? So they will do a short demonstration, a short presentation at the end. So be sure to hang around. Okay, if there is no question, so I will also ask all the speakers to be ready. When it's your turn to have your presentation ready, and you will pick up the screen, right? So you can by yourself start the presentation, share the screen, and you start immediately. If there is any problem, we'll tell you. If there is a problem with the voice or with the screen sharing, but you don't need to ask. You just start. Okay. So our first presentation is a keynote by Dr. Engineer Abdur Rahim, which is the managing director of Waziup EV. He will explain. The coordinator of Waziup projects, and also technical manager of HUBiquitous, and many others actually. The guy is having a really long experience in IoT, and especially IoT in Africa. And I will not have time to go over the full CV here, but we are very happy to welcome him and to hear the keynote from him. Abdur, the floor is yours.
Hello, this is Abdur Rahim, and so hello from Germany, from Dresden. So we have today quite a sunny day. So I'm very happy to be here and to present that actually what we have doing in Africa in terms of the IoT. So my name is Abdur Rahim, as presented by my colleague, and I am leading this whole Wazihub initiative in Africa. In my presentation, so I will try to explain the experience and kind of lesson learned that we had so far in over the last 6 years in IoT in Africa. And in the same time, I will also talk about what is our next also plan on IoT in Africa. So before starting, I would like to say a few words about Waziup. I don't know how many of you know Waziup. I believe quite some of you know. So Waziup is an open IoT initiative in Africa. So Africa is our main focus. And what we are doing, we are promoting the open source IoT software, hardware, and platform, and engaging the African community to innovate the IoT application and businesses. So we started the whole activities in 2015 as a funded by the European project. And this project was quite a success. We have achieved quite a substantial amount results from the project. And then on 2019, this whole initiative was formally registered as a non-profitable organization in Germany. Right now, this whole Waziup, we started with the 4 countries in West Africa. And right now, we are present in more than 15 countries in Africa and across 4 regions. So we are present in East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, South Africa. So we are not so much yet in the Central Africa. So the vision that we have in this Waziup in terms of this IoT in Africa is this, if I can say it in the 4 key word. So one of the vision that from the beginning we had this local innovation. So the local innovation is what we define that it is born on locally, but it's act on globally. So that means that it starts with the very specific local problem and using the local resources and local even human resources or the talent and to innovate that. That is actually so that means the local to make it as local as possible in innovation. And that is another is the affordability, because the Africa is the continent and some of the IoT, as we know, that still is very expensive. Even there are quite a lot of the cost is coming bit reasonable price, but it's still quite expensive if you talk about the many of these IoT application in Africa. So the affordability that these people can buy it, and this is really a major issue. So we wanted to have a low cost and cost effective IoT solution. And another is the openness. So from the beginning, we always want to be an open community, IoT community. So it's not about the open in the sense of the people can talk together openly. It's about also open technology, open community. So the technology itself that we are using is open technology, open source software, open hardware. And even the open source, in some cases, even it will be open API. And another vision that we always believe that which is called Made in Africa. So we wanted to be at the end of the day, we want to innovate the IoT, which is made in Africa, which is owned by African. That is actually, so the whole initiative, the vision is on initiative is not, we are not for African, but we are with African. So this is actually what this slide is. I will talk about that. How is our maturity path actually? Where we started and where we is heading on. So in the I clustered in the 3 different areas. So the first generation is actually where we started at 2015, and I call them as a do-it-yourself era. And after that, we had a new round of the structuring of all the activities and the focus, we call prototyping era. And then now we are starting a new phase of the whole initiative, is called startup era. So in the do-it-yourself era, in this phase, what do we have? As said, we started in 2015 with the limited 4 countries, and at that time, what we are doing, we are developing, proposing as some kind of a complete do-it-yourself toolkits, hardware, software toolkits. So that means that we take the open source hardware, like for example Arduino, Raspberry Pi, even open source the LoRa, IoT LoRa module, like in-ear module, and also sensor. So we come off a development, we come a do-it-yourself kit. In the kit, so we provide a different all those hardware. We also provide a software template, and we also provide a guidelines. So that means that these allow you to how can you connect the different hardware, and how after that you use the template that we provide, and you can develop a prototype. And the main focus of this do-it-yourself is really developing community. So we was quite strongly focusing on the developing community, and in that case, it was more also the student and so the challenges that we have faced in this do-it-yourself, because we also wanted to go on the innovation. It is it is not only the building the capacity, also the part of the innovation was also another target. So, and the problem was that because of you need to know very details of the technology. So that means you need to, when you have a small component, you need to know how to connect the wire. You need to so this very details learning was a very big challenges for us to transfer the technology, and this is another very important, very big challenge that we had and is still facing, is the hardware availability. Because in that cases you have to buy maybe 100 of 10, 15 hardware. It was very difficult. So that is actually where the do-it-yourself said. So then what we have learned that we need to come up a more integrated hardware, integrated software. So in order to innovate a quicker and faster way. So that is where we come a kind of the more integrated board. And another thing also we learned that we was focusing quite much on developing community. So we see that we need to be also strongly focus on the tech hub community, innovation communities. And that time, even due to this hardware availability, and then sometime we had to also decide to do some of the prototyping and application, like the solution development in Europe, and also to transform them in Africa. So that was the kind of phase that we had. So from this do-it-yourself, we come in prototyping phase. So that is a prototyping where we have a more integrated solution. So that means instead of having this small Arduino, so you have a Arduino board, and then after that you have the LoRa board. So after that you need to connect. So we say no, we need to have a more integrated hardware board, or even more sophisticated software template. So that is where we come up is a kind of different kind of a development board, which we call them Wazihub is a development board. And in this development board, all the component, like what you need, you don't need to do any wiring now anymore. So you just need to take the board, connect the sensor, and then also the flash the software, and then it will be already working. So that is actually, and then at the same time on the gateway, so we have also the board which can also connect from the gateway, and the software tools and as well. So that is where, so it was a quite shift from the very much do-it-yourself to coming a prototyping board. And this prototyping board is actually we also focus more, not only before we was doing the single channel LoRa application. So as to mention that this whole Wazihub initiative, we are really focusing on mainly the LoRa, IoT LoRa application. So then we come on the multi-channel LoRa board. So this time, so we had the core focus was the tech hub. So we had a core focus on the tech hub, so, and then entrepreneur, and in the same time we also did the development of the young talent and capacity building activities. So you can see that what we did in this time, we had like a kind of the come up a more development kit kind of board. So you can see some of the picture of the board. So we package all the component, and so that it is get easier for developer to innovate. And in order to solve the hardware problem, I mean, we still couldn't manage to solve the hardware problem, but at least we minimize some extent the hardware problem. So what we did, we manufactured this kit in Africa. So we manufacture them in Kenya, so that the assembly and it can be done on the Kenya, and then after that it can shift to the other countries. So and then another thing, actually, what we try to focus on more on the IoT tech hub. So as you know that in Africa there are more almost 700 to 800 of tech hub, but not all of them really having a IoT profile. Many of them are co-working space, many of them are incubator and things. So we try to focus very much the IoT tech hub, like a kind of Kumasi Hive, iLab, and Sonatel. So all those the partner that they have quite much this IoT competence and thing. So over this time, that actually what we did, we could measure our impact. That we had quite many organized a boot camp. We also organized the hackathon. We also organized quite a lot of technical session and with the young communities. And we have also supported, we had launched this program, and we have supported more than 550 startup, and then also the quite many prototyping. So today, I think you will also hear some of the startups that they have been also graduated from the Wazihub Accelerator program. And then we also had this whole development kit. We also distributed quite more than 200 development kit in Africa in order to make that because hardware. If we talk about IoT, I still emphasize that hardware is really very important. Without hardware, you cannot do the IoT, and it was always a big pain and problem. So as I said, that there is still even we try to minimize quite many problems, but it's still quite challenges that we are facing still. And that is what we think that we need to take it further in the next level. One is, as I said, that hardware logistic and local availability. So you know that it's still hardware is the major problem. So what we are now also planning that instead of having only one, we wanted to also distribute the manufacturing possibility of the hardware in the other possibly one in West Africa, North Africa, and South Africa, so that it can be that we also build the competence of the hardware manufacturing capability. Another is actually this heterogeneity of the IoT itself. So you know that there are quite many IoT technology, the many different way you can connect them. So also there are a lot of different sort of IoT open source hardware and platform. So we wanted to bring a kind of a template where it is more simplified, and then so that it is more interoperable with the other solution and as well as technologies. And then skill development is still a major issues, because what we have learned over the time that because IoT, we need to know the electronics, you need to know the communication technologies, And in African communities, we see that they are very good on the software development, but still there is a need a mass more skill on the electronics and hardware activities. So in addition, there are new technologies coming, the IoT, AI, as well as this big data. So there are a lot of new technology coming. So you need to also training them. And another is major problem is the return of investment and investment opportunity. So now we have some of the startup who have developed their solution, but there is still a problem how to make sure to go to market and make sure that the investment they put, it can be returned. So how to success on the businesses. So that is also another things that we wanted to address in the whole next phase of this whole initiative. So that is actually where we are coming about, like we call that startup era. So this is the phase will be starting now, and in that cases our vision is to simplify some of the problem that we are still facing and how to simplify it. So one of the simplification that we want to do, that we say, okay, we want to come up a IoT business box. So that means that a IoT business box, it's not about only the prototyping kit. It's not only the software development kit, different set of tools. It also comes nicely packaged with the training as well as coding material. It also provides you some kind of business template. So that means that this kit is coming a very nice, simplified packaging for entrepreneur. So to how to quickly start the prototyping, software development, coaching as well as template. One of the main challenges in African startup is still, I think that it's not only Africa, it's also other continent facing the same problem, where the time it takes to go to market. And that is actually the quite long time it takes even from the idea to realization. So that is also what we wanted to minimize the time to go to market. And with that, and we will be developing this box in the different vertical application. For example, agriculture box, city box, industry box, health box, green box. So each of the box will have some kind of particular technology in mind. So and then another thing that we wanted to focus in that phase is the building the startup ecosystem, IoT startup ecosystem. So what is very important, it's not it's definitely for Africa, but also the other continent in Europe, is to really build the ecosystem. Because if the ecosystem is not sustained or ecosystem is not matured enough, then it is very difficult to innovate. Because in order to innovate, you need a different tools. For example, is the entrepreneur who are going to innovate. So, and after that, you need a young talent who can also support you or help you on the some of the technical or any business side. You need a tech hub who can also breathing or brokers to connect different actor. You need also incubator. You need a government. Also, the investor is a very important actor, because investment is really a very important, where many of the startups are facing this problem. So that is actually so that means that we wanted to create a more ecosystem around this IoT, so that different actors can be being together and to innovate and then providing this opportunity for tech hub as well as the entrepreneur. So in that, entrepreneur and tech hub will be the center. And in this, I just make it this competence center. This is very so what we are also going to do we are also be building bridging the African and European digital innovation ecosystem. I will explain in the following how the digital innovation ecosystem in Europe. But one thing is here to say the competence center. So in an ecosystem, you need a competence center, because without competence center, you cannot innovate, you cannot come up with the new technology, right? So for example, it's all the IoT, big data, AI are cutting edge emerging technology, and there is a need of competence center. And what we have realized that in the African Tech Hub, there are competence centers there, but it is not really nicely integrated on the ecosystem concept. And that is actually what is also we wanted to do. We want to build the IoT competence center as a part of the Tech Hub. So this is actually the European definition of digital innovation hub. So in the European definition of digital innovation hub, it has 4 components. One is called test before invest. So before investing, the startup have to have a possibility to test that idea. So there is a need a test infrastructure and the tools that the idea can be tested. Then there is also need the support to find investment. So support investment is kind of accelerator, incubator, and which is, I think, quite African are doing quite well. And obviously there need to be maybe more and more investment is coming. And then another is to build the innovation ecosystem and networking. This is also what Hub are doing. And another is mostly the 4th component is skill development training. So in this definition, European definition of digital innovation hub, I think African are quite fitting well. But if only thing that where it need to really further matured is the more test before invest and more skill development, technical skill development activities. So here you can see that in the definition, the digital innovation hub is the orchestrator who is orchestrating all these actors like investor, government, incubator, research organization, startup. But the competence center is very key element. So and then the role of the competence center is to providing the infrastructure and in providing the technical platform to where you can startup can test it. So also the providing all the digital expertise and also the support for the more piloting and demonstration. So this is actually where the technical competence center is coming, and the competence center and digital innovation hub, they should be working hand in hand. But how you define the competence center and digital innovation hub is up to is matter of the kind of the way innovation ecosystem is developed. Some cases it can be the one organization can also take the both role. Like for example, the Kumasi Hive. This is one of the example that they have. I think they have the expertise to be a competence center as well. In the same time, they can be also digital innovation hub. So that is actually what we think that missing in Africa, and I think that's the what we feel that we need to create this breeze between European and African digital innovation hub, and that is why we are coming in the a concept. It's called the test bed and experiment infrastructure. And we call them also the solution lab, and that is actually what we are going to propose the being to the African Tech Hub to be the competence center. So in that the infrastructure, you will have a different sort of tools. You will have the different sort of hardware, open source hardware, like what we are proposing. You will have also different sort of tools that how can you connect the communication network. And we also being the mobile edge computing platform and also the different sort of API and things. So that means the different sort of tools and infrastructure will bring together as a solution lab concept and to improve that to competence to the Tech Hub. And we'll also providing the kit, AI kit and IoT kit on together as a coming as a package. So that is actually what we are. We believe that is one way because the Europe and Africa are different. So every continent has their own context. So this is the one of the way to improve the competency of the Tech Hub in Africa. So that is actually and then in the future we are also going to have two more the dimension that we are going to look. First of all, we are having already our ACE platform, and we are going to bring the ACE intelligence on the ACE. So in the ACE platform, I think you know that where the data are processed on the near to the source of the application, even source of the data. So we are going to the tools that we are going to do. So the gateway, it is already is computing enabled, and we are also bringing the AI on the edge as well as the sensor node. So and then in the another dimension, we are also bringing the because I think that is very important for the Africa, where we are also bringing this IoT LoRa satellite, so that in the gateway that we will be providing, it will be also possible to connect the satellite. So there are different satellite company who have launched the IoT LoRa satellite, and we are also discussing how we can provide this technology competence to the also African communities, tech hub and startup. So yeah, so with that, actually, I would like to just to announce that we are the startup phase that I was presenting, and these whole activities will be also framed in this new funded project that we have called HUBiquitous. And this HUBiquitous project is going to start in the 1st of May, and it will be another 3 years. And in that phase project, we'll have developed provide all those tools and things. And you will have a presentation from one of my colleagues from Orange 7 will talk about this project. So and before that, closing my presentation, I would like to really thank all the members, like Waziup member, Wazihub, HUBiquitous member, partner, all the tech hub communities that we have, startup communities, development communities we have. So I think it was if we look back, what was the 2015 when we started, and what is now. When we started 2015, there was only only the IoT awareness kind of activities. There was some event and their activities we started. Now you see in Africa quite a lot of people are startup working on IoT, quite a lot of IoT solutions. And we feel that Waziup also contributed. This whole initiative has contributed on that, the transformation or the IoT in Africa. So with that, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have time for one question from the audience. So one question for Abdur. So I think it was very interesting, very exciting. I think it's a bright future, right, for IoT all over the continent. So I have one question with the actuality, right? The COVID, 1 year ago, there was this COVID coming, and this was quite disruptive for the program. And Abdur, what do you think? How we can adapt to this COVID? I mean, we cannot meet physically now, so we have to adapt the programs, and maybe also IoT can help in some way.
Yeah, so definitely this is yeah, we all are facing these challenges. So in terms of the whole program and the COVID, so I think that in the behind this all the negative impact, I see a very quite positive move, and that is, I think, it's maybe we are getting used to these digital tools, digital meeting and things like that. So in the next, we was planning quite many physical meeting where we need to have a physical meet, but we see that it's also get easier to quickly meet up in the online, and sometimes while you don't need to travel quite long, and sometimes you can also meet very interesting people who you not meet so easily. So I think that this COVID is having some kind of challenges definitely on the way the whole our daily life impact. But in terms of this some of this in the event and this kind of training, I think it created a greater opportunity, which is even the African infrastructure problem and many things was there already. So I think that we can even meet up, and we can also build the training even I would say that more faster, more easier way. But definitely, because IoT has physical activities like the hardware, so we need to deliver the hardware, and then we need to give the training. So that is part we need to see how to solve that problem. But I think, yeah, so we will adapt these digital tools, as well as we hope to come back also on the physical as well, event as well.
Okay, thanks. There are 2 raised hands. So guys, do you want to ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Hi. Okay. Quick question. I'm very interested. I'm a new investor in tech, and based in Nigeria. And I'm very interested in your last slide. You talked about the LoRaWAN network and the gateways. Can I ask, in Africa, I'm sorry if I missed this at the earlier stage of your presentation, how far in development are you? And can you give us more information about the network and the LoRaWAN gateway you're trying to provide? And just secondly, would you be sharing your presentation with us afterward?
Yes, so definitely, as you said that you said that you would join later. So actually, this whole Wazihub is a IoT LoRa initiative, and we were I would say that maybe we could be. It might be not wrong to say that we are the early pioneer on who was coming the IoT LoRa in Africa as the open source technology. So at the beginning, what we did, we have this single channel LoRa communication platform, and because single channel was very cost effective, so you can really buy very cheap hardware and module, then multi-channel, where multi-channel gateway is more expensive. So, but over the time, this multi-channel is also become cheaper. So now we have a completely IoT and LoRa solution, which you can also use single channel as well as the multi-channel, both. And all our technology are open source. So you can visit our website, and then this Wazihub or Wazihub or project website. So you can see all the technical tools. And our hub partner are they are also working on this LoRa. So they all have quite already experts. And they know how to set up the LoRa network and things. So we are not like yet to providing the LoRa like a kind of the network provider. In that sense, we are really becoming more technology provider. We are providing the different open source LoRa technology. So if you are interested, so you can have a look our website, and then yes, this slide will be available as well as the presentation.
I hope you don't mind if I send you an email afterwards.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Abdur. So let's go to our next presentation. Okay, so Fiifi is the managing director of Cloudport and innovation manager of Wazihub, manager of HUBiquitous, and I think you have a huge experience on entrepreneurship around IoT, right? And so we'll be very happy to learn about this initiative called Wazihub. Right, floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Corentin. I hope you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yes.
So as Abdul mentioned earlier, Wazihub started sometime in 2019, and it's been a continuation of the earlier efforts from the Wazihub project from 2015. Wazihub should be ending sometime this year, very soon. So the main purpose for Wazihub has been to help entrepreneurs and startups to develop very fast prototypes using the Wazihub technology. If you look at the IoT ecosystem, right, there are a couple of challenges. Building IoT solutions can be very complex, expensive, requires hardware which are not readily available. It also requires some significant upfront cost toward building your own platform, sensor network, and even taking care of the security that comes with building an IoT infrastructure. It's expensive. There's also the expertise aspect of it. Since it's a new technology, not very, you don't have a lot of people with that experience. And so one of the things that we set out to do was to help solve some of these challenges. We do know we can't solve everything, but at least provide the infrastructure and platform to help the target audience develop their own solutions and prototypes much faster. The program focused mainly on technology transfer, IoT development skills, professional growth. And I'll explain some of these in the next few slides. So the Wazihub IoT program is modeled around three main phases, right? Where we have the ideation, the prototyping, and then the growth hack phase. And we implemented this across various channels, various tools, from boot camps, webinars, hackathons, online trainings, so many different approaches that we used. In the ideation phase, we looked at how we can help take an entrepreneur or a developer's idea from the beginning to helping them fine-tune it to something much more tangible, something that has clarity. And so the ideation phase usually happen through boot camps, capacity buildings, hackathons, and workshops across the continent. And once the idea is fine-tuned, we help them take it to the prototyping phase, where we provide our technology, the Wazihub technology, including, which is made up of both the hardware and then the software. And I'm sure Abdur talked a little bit about that earlier. We help them prototype, right, their ideas using our solution in this particular phase. We also help them test and then pilot this idea that they have. We also make available mentors and program managers who are able to help fine-tune and help them gain much better clarity on the business model that they have. So we start from the ideation, help them get to the prototyping, and then once they have a working prototype, we help them to get to the growth hack phase by helping them have an even much better business model and everything that is required for them to get to market. As I explained earlier, our focus has been on capacity building, supporting startups to prototype, and then developing a sustainable ecosystem. Our main partners in this project has been technology hubs, tech hubs across the continent. The Wazihub project has been operating in about, I think, 6 or 7 African countries. There's Senegal, Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and then South Africa. Prior to Wazihub, we were working in about, I think, also 6 African countries as well in the Wazihub project. So we've had quite a reach across at least 12 to 14 African countries since 2015. And specifically with the Wazihub, what we've been doing is building capacity through IoT courses, online webinars, workshops, and bootcamps, and then supporting the startups with our with experts on board, as well as development kits. In building capacity, what we did was mainly to work with hubs to train leads or experts in the hubs so they can in turn train their communities and other members or people who are interested in IoT technology. And this was not limited to members of the hub, but the general community as well. We do have an online course which is available, and it's not limited to just the participants in these hubs. Anyone can go through our course to have a better understanding of our technology and also introduction to IoT. We also organized a couple of boot camps in the early days when COVID was not around. We've organized a lot of boot camps, trained a lot of people, and it's at this stage again that we help people ideate and also quickly prototype their ideas. And this is how we've helped entrepreneurs and developers to prototype. We've done that through the, as I mentioned earlier, boot camps and workshops, ad hoc and on-demand support. And then lately, the Wazihub Innovation competition. In the competition, we had an open call, asked people to apply. We shortlisted interesting ideas and then selected applicants that we wanted to help prototype their ideas. These applicants were taken through a prototyping and testing phase, where we finally selected those that we felt could go on to the next phase. Those that we selected at the end of the day became Wazihub champions, and then we are providing ongoing support for them. The main ecosystem, so we have like a large ecosystem stakeholders, right? But the main stakeholders that we've been working with and focusing on are startups and entrepreneurs, developers and engineers, technology hubs and innovation hubs in general. It has been a very, very interesting program for us. It came with its own challenges, especially with COVID coming around, but we had to innovate and look at how we can continue providing the solutions to the startups and then the developers in general. I will end here so that my colleague can take on the next presentation. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So is there any question for Fiifi? I think there is 2 raised hands. Somebody wants to take a question. And there is a question in the chat also. So from Dryas the Rock, I'm interested to learn more about how you approach the ideation phase right now. Is there a set method or approach you're using with the applicants? So what is the methodology, right, if I understand the question, on the ideation phase?
Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to read a question well. So it says, I'm interested to learn more about your approach. Yeah, so we use a design thinking methodology where we made sure that the applicants actually did understand the actors involved, tried a couple of ideas before landing on a finalized approach that they would want to implement. So yes, we did use a design thinking methodology. I don't know if that answers your question. And I think someone has another question. Yes, the program is ending this year. However, most of the resources will still be available for quite some time, including the online course is going to be available. You are going to have access to most of us. If you have any question, the online platform is also going to be available, as in the Wazihub technology stuff is going to be available. We will let you know also how you can get access to the hardware should you need any of the kits that we have in order to prototype even outside this program. So most of the resources will be available, yes.
Yeah, and Abdur is saying that the program will continue.
Yeah. Yes, just to clarify that, not to get confused, the whole activities will continue, and that was what I was mentioning. It will continue in the next frame. We will call them in HUBiquitous. So this Wazihub, the program itself will close, but the activities will be even continue in the different phase, and we'll have even address in the different other problems that we are facing on, and that will be also addressed on this HUBiquitous, and you will hear that. So that means that the activities that we have started, it will continue, and all the support and all the activities will be continued.
Yeah. Last question. There is a question about the Democratic Republic of Congo. You can answer it in a bit generic way, not only for Waziup, but also for the next program. How to reach other countries? I think they can, right?
Yeah, so this is also one of the point we are also thinking how to do, because we have learned that the IoT is also very specific technology. There are not so many have also available on that. So right now in the next program, we are also discussing whether we might need to enlarge the activities in the other hub as well. But I think you will also hear that from our colleague Servane, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good time. That's a good time to welcome Servane.
Just to summarize it, Corentin, just to summarize it, we are taking best practices, what we learned from the last two projects, and improving it for the next program, which Servane will be presenting.
Yeah, so Servane is a research and innovation manager at Orange Labs, precisely, and will be the innovation manager of HUBiquitous. So Servane is also a good colleague and from a long time, and he's also, for me, the go-to person for everything that's marketing and this business modelization. So she would be in very good position to present this new program. Servane?
Thanks a lot, Corentin. Can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are doing well. So it's a pleasure for me to present HUBiquitous, which is a newly funded project by the European Commission. So the aim of HUBiquitous is to pave the foundation for disruptive technologies such as IoT, big data, artificial intelligence, cloud and fog, edge technologies in tomorrow's digital innovation hubs. So that's what Abdur called competence centers a few minutes ago. So I am Servane Crave. I am working at Orange Labs France and acting as innovation manager in HUBiquitous. And just to give you the vision of the project, so what HUBiquitous aims at doing is really creating a joint Africa-Europe startup and innovation ecosystem. And this not just for the lifetime of the project, but for long-term collaboration and for long-term partnerships. So let me just give you some insights regarding the project ID. So the duration is 40 months. It will officially start by 1st of May this year. It's a partnership of 9 entities. So we have 5 European partners and 5 African ones. In Europe, we have networks of startups in Spain and also in Belgium with ESN, European Startup Network, and Insomnia in Spain. We have Waziup the foundation, which is, organizing all these projects, and also a technical company, Innotech 21, where, for instance, a Corentin works for. In Africa, we are covering 5 countries with 4 partners. And so District in Egypt, DTBI in Tanzania, iSpace in Ghana, and Hub in Nigeria. We are also covering Kenya with associated partners, associated DIH, Digital Innovation Hubs partners. The budget is roughly 2 million euro, and as I said, it will be a 40 months collaboration. This is a concept of HUBiquitous. A lot of people say that one image is worth 1,000 words, so we found it nice to introduce the project briefly with this picture. As I said before, it's a collaboration between 2 continents, 5 countries in Africa, and we also have a network of associated digital innovation hubs in these 5 countries, so namely Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and Egypt. What is very important in the project are or innovation enablers. We have 3 innovation enablers, and you can see them at the center of the picture. So first, we have Solution Lab. Solution Lab is, as Abdur presented a few minutes ago, the delivering of a testing and the delivery, of a testing and development infrastructure in IoT Tech Hub Competence Center. And it also aims at building local technical competencies. We also have, as an innovation enabler, application business boxes, which are going to create new vertical applications, products, and support go-to-market of entrepreneurs and startups. And on the left of the picture, you can see the 5 verticals we aim at addressing. So we aim at addressing agriculture, which is in IoT in Africa something which is already proven to be of very high interest. We also aim to open new research avenues, such as, for instance, smart cities, industry. See also how IoT technology can improve environmental protection. And we would like also to develop health bugs related to IoT in the health sector. And for each of these application business boxes we are going to apply design thinking, meaning that we are going to develop them based on user requirements. So it will be a user-centric approach. So we aim at having a lot of interactions with end users, with startups, and also with DIH. And for each of these boxes, you see that there are some commonalities and there will be specificities. Commonalities will be the 3 components, so hardware and software, training for technical and business competencies, and also business support, as I just said earlier, supporting startups and entrepreneurs for their go-to-market and also for their scale-up when they really want to expand and maybe target new markets. And there will be specificities according to the vertical the application business box will be developed for. Last but not least, the 3rd innovation enabler is Meetup. Meetup is an online collaborative platform between African and European DIH, Digital Innovation Hubs ecosystem. And here are some examples of what people will find on Meetup. They will be able to find partners, talents. Startups will be able to promote their services, and it will be also a dynamic common repository for knowledge where people can share and access to knowledge. All these 3 innovation enablers will be supported by 3 programs: talent programs, acceleration programs, and community programs. On the next slide, you will see, I will give you more information. So what are the objectives? What are our key performance indicators in this project? So our plan is to deploy 30 solution labs in Africa. So 1 solution lab per digital innovation hub. We also aim at developing 5 application business boxes, which will address 5 vertical application domains in Africa. Regarding MeetUp, the third innovation enabler, our target is to onboard more than 5,000 partners and actors, which will register and be active participants on MeetUp. We also want to do some capacity building, and we are going to train people in the hubs, so our partners in Africa and the associated digital innovation hubs. And the target is to have 75 trained during the project. Regarding, young communities, we also have a very challenging target, which is exciting also. And we aim at training 2,000 local individuals thanks to this talent program. This means that we will continue to provide online courses, and we will also organize bootcamps, and hackathons. The second program is related to accelerating, startups and entrepreneurs. So during the lifetime of the project, we are going to launch 2 open calls to support entrepreneurs and startups to support them in the creation of new products and services. And the target is to have 50 new products and services created thanks to this accelerator program. Last but not least, we also have a very strong community building activities plan, because we aim at organizing 3 African Innovation Weeks, 1 per yearly, one African week yearly, because the project is 3 years long. We will also organize at least 5 soft landing mission events. And at the beginning of the project, we will have co-design events. And you can believe me, it's very tricky to organize this now. So we are trying to design co-design events because, of course, it's very difficult or impossible to travel. So we were trying to design co-design events in a very, very smart way to let people really interact, even if they are not physically in the same place. We will also organize 20 bootcamp and hackathon during the project. So that was my presentation. So thanks a lot for your attention, and stay tuned for the project start, because it will be relayed on social media, thanks to Delcy and Vilma for letting people know that we have just started. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we will take one question for Servane.
Yeah.
First of all, I see that on the chat there is some discussion about Uganda. So could you answer to hydroponic farms? So they are wondering if the Uganda would be left out of the program, or how it would work.
Let me just go to the questions. Let me go
so maybe I can just answer that question, if this is okay, Servane?
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Because they saw that Uganda was not on your map, so they are beginning to worry.
No, I think that, okay, we understand the concern of that. So definitely, the Wazihub have created a community and ecosystem in the different other countries. And as my colleague mentioned, this is a new program, and we had to select some countries as a main, like as a partner. But it doesn't mean that we are not going to keep the existing activities and existing partnerships. So this is what we also will be discussing in that how to continuing with the even Senegal, not only Uganda, we have also Senegal, the Sonatel, all the activities that we have been done. So how to keep continuing all the activities. So so I think that the comment was very interesting, and I think we are aware of that, and we will keep in all the existing activities so that the community have the even support. And as Servane also mentioned that in the next program, this program, we are also going to have a 50 startup, and this startup will be also bridged to in the European Tech Hub and accelerator program. So in the next program, it is bringing even new opportunity and then also we are going to have this solution lab to deploy in the 30 of this digital innovation hub. But we are also discussing we might even reach to the other countries. So we will not be only limited to the countries that we are doing. We might also go in other new country like the Congo and other thing. That is also we are discussing on that. But I think this comment from the audience is interesting.
Yeah, and we also have a comment from Cheikh from Sonatel. And
yes.
I've read your comment, and I think
the same comment.
Because I think we are very happy to hear that, and definitely this is we will keep it these activities in going. We will need to discuss internally the how in the project, how to the model, but definitely that we don't want to let the behind the community that we have created and then partner.
Yeah.
If I may add something to answer Cher's question, I presented the 3 innovation enablers, and one of them is Meetup. So Meetup is a Pan-African collaboration platform. So I think it reinforces, because we are going to expand to countries where Waziup, for instance, was not present, and of course it will be open to everybody.
Yes, perfectly. Yeah, you showed a lot of different tools, also the open codes. So I think they will be available, right? And they would be quite powerful tools for also remote collaboration. You talk about remote collaboration, which is necessity now. So we need those tools.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
Servane.
and Abdur.
Thank you so much. So next in line is Dr. Engineer Babacar Diop, which is from University of Gaston Berger in Senegal, in Saint Louis. And he's a Wazihub, a smart village lead. So you hear about smart city, right? And he will explain what is a smart village. So Babacar is also a very active member of the project and our reference for everything that is, well, IoT in general, but specifically the deployments, the living labs, the research around IoT. So he will explain now what is that smart village. Babacar?
Okay, man. Thank you, Corentin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, guys. So I'm very happy to be here and to be part of this session in this IoT days. So in this session, we are going to talk about the smart village activities. What the smart village is about, and what are the achievements that we have done during this past years. So I present myself. I'm Babacar Diop from University of Gaston Berger. So we've been working as a partner in the first part of this project, was the Waziup project. And what we have achieved in the Waziup project was a kind of testbed infrastructure, which validated technically some applications in the farming activities. And
Babacar, you're presenting slides?
Yeah. But
I
have already. Can you see my screen? Because I've shared my screen.
No,
yeah, I see the screen, but I see the faces of the meeting.
Okay, so let me do it again. Okay, can you now see it?
Yes, better.
Okay, it's okay.
No, please, I cannot see the screen.
Yeah, so I was talking about, so we first realized a kind of testbed infrastructure and validated some 4 or 5 applications around here. And then next we have gone through the initiative of that smart village. And the objective of the smart village, I will talk about it. So is to build a kind of reference infrastructure that will serve as a model for other smart village initiatives and also in Africa, and to have also a kind of open infrastructure. So here we can start with the objectives of maybe it's better to take the PDF one. Okay, so to start with the objectives of the smart village. So our objectives are threefold. Firstly, is to set up a technical infrastructure, as I said before, which stand as a reference implementation and that is able to support large-scale data collection. That's what we have not done in the first project, because it was just to test some application in a kind of testbed infrastructure. And the second of our objective is the large-scale deployment. So we target large-scale deployment and testing of several applications. And for that, so there is one important step, which is the setting up of the living lab. So secondly, to build that, to test and deploy in large scale some application. And finally, after these two steps, so generated data are intended to be used for the creation of future services using AI and some big data techniques. So so these are the objectives of the smart village. But before talking about any technical aspects, so how can we, the question was about how can we set up a kind of brainstorming space where several stakeholders can be part of and share some ideas and try to solve some solution together. So this space is what we call the living lab. So the living lab is what can I say, a kind of space where we have several stakeholders, just like the farmers, the end users, the developers, the academics, and the startups, and also the incubators here. And what we have first done before the beginning of the project is to have some physical meetings and discuss together to see exactly how we can build a mature concept and design it together, and then try to go up to innovation and scale together. So I'll give more details in the next slide here. So as you can see, how to build the concept, for example. So the strategy we adopted here is, as said before, to start from the user and survey existing practices. So farmers here, they have their habits, they have their ways of knowing qualitatively the amount of the soil and the amount of salt on the soil, or where to seed. And then the idea is to discuss first with them and to see exactly what are the main problems, what are the main challenges, and then to co-design together what we want to do and where we want to go. So this is what is the objective of the concept phase. So after that, we come to a kind of planning with the several activities that we can follow through the end of the year, and at the same time, so we keep in touch with the farmers too and with the end users. So those who are intended to use the product, to see exactly if what we are doing and how we are evolving is in the good way. And then we have the design phase, and that phase is also really important, where we have also to make some exploration of the existing infrastructure. So what were being used, for example, for the farmer. So I take one example. If you take the poultry farm here, so most of the time, in order to monitor the air quality or the air speed inside of the poultry, so what they use to use is a kind of candle. So they put the candle somewhere inside, and then they try to see exactly how it's moving, to see exactly what is the speed of the wind, and so this kind of practice. So we discuss together to see exactly what is the existence, what they are doing, and then to see exactly how we can develop together the prototype, and propose to them some kind of maps, some kind of schemas, some kind of problem trees, until there is a technical validation for this step. And then after we go up to the innovation step. So as said before by Abdur Rahim, you can know that innovation is not really easy in Africa. So because of the diversity of the different stakeholders that can take part of this innovation ecosystem, but we tried with the help of the Living Lab to to bring some kind of investment. So right now it's a kind of ongoing work, and we are in a deep collaboration with the incubator here to see exactly how we can put some products in the market. And yes, that's it. And then for about the user engagement, so how to engage the relevant stakeholders. So we had different channels. So here we have also Sonatel as collaborator, which help a lot in having some kind of startups that are ready to develop some applications. And so we have here the UDB Competence Center, where we have the Faculty of Agronomy and the UDB Farm, where we have performed a lot of experience in IoT, in farming, and in smart fishing and all the stuff. And we have the farmers in the villages, and we have the Innovation Center from Sonatel, and we have also the other stakeholders like the governments and other academics, some partners that we put inside. And what is important here is that the user is in the middle, so in the center of all these actions. And that means so everything has to be in concordance with the reality of what we are living here and what the farmers used to do in their activities. And now I put just here a slide to explain the kind of infrastructure that we have, which is an open infrastructure, which is comprised of low-cost LoRa gateways that are deployed in a testbed model. That's it. So there are a lot of gateways. So we can see there are 5 gateways, and which is not too few, because when you have a look at the coverage of each one of these gateways, so it ranges from a little at least 3 kilometers to 7 kilometers. And the past experience show that we can achieve more coverage when we have higher deployments, and we have a line of sight from the LoRa gateways, and we choose some proper high gain antenna. So we can go up to 11 kilometers, and it is something that is really useful for the infrastructure of the smart village and testing application. So right now, all the gateways are up and running and ready to support existing application testing. So there are a lot of students application, a lot of academics, and people right now who are doing some research in this, who are using the gateway either locally or either with the connectivity to the cloud. But the idea is that to set up that kind of open infrastructure, so that it is open to test any kind of project in IoT here. And it's working really fine. And then for the application, so after these steps of concept building, meeting with the partners and with the farmers, and designing some concept and designing some ideas and some prototypes, we have come up to some kind of application that are really useful here. So in this village, in the Sana village. So I have not really presented the Sana village. So the Sana village is the village which is a little bit particular, because it is located in a kind of suburban environment. So there is one part, it is like a kind of whole village, and another part, the kind of whole city, and we have the university in the middle. So that's it, and all around you can see farmers. So that's why monitoring some activities, just like the soil quality monitoring, are really useful. And for this, we experience 3 types of sensors. So the first one are the resistive and the capacitive sensors, which have been used intensively to produce data, and even this data have been used for competition and all, which are cheaper than the high resolution sensors that we use less often, and which provide more parameters, just like temperature, salt level, and at the same time providing soil moisture with better precision. But the fact is that these high resolution sensors usually consumes a lot of energy. So they work in for example with 12 volt, and they consume a lot of energy, and they are not cheap at all. So that's why the capacitive sensors and the resistive ones are the most used in our application. So right now we have about 50 resistive, 50 capacitive sensors ready to be used for for any kind of project of soil monitoring inside the village, and about 10 high resolution sensors that we use not really often, because sometimes these parameters, the salt level and the temperature, sometimes they are not really required to farmers don't need to have these parameters in real time every day. So it's a kind of compromise that we use that we make between cheapness and expensive and energy consumption and so. So soil quality is really important, and another outcome of this is the fact that we can monitor exactly the amount of water to bring every day in the farm, just by using one weather station. So we have done the experience before, and right now it is really appreciated here. So just with one weather station, we can apply some models behind that work with the Faculty of Agronomy. So to see what model can we implement in this data, and then we found that with just one weather station, it is possible to know exactly the amount of water that we can bring. So not to talk about the whole concept of precision agriculture, but we try to solve some kind of little focused problems where maybe it can make us grow up to something greater. And then we have also the water quality. So for this one, there are a lot of parameters that come from the same problem, and we represent the problem in a kind of problem tree where the growth of algae is something that is which is really frequent in the village here. So it depends on the monitoring of different parameters like the dissolved oxygen, the pH, the turbidity, the water temperature, and then the phosphorus and nitrate. And in order to prevent this kind of problem, so the growth of algae is one of the most hard problems to manage in fishing activities. So they may depend on several parameters like pointed out in the pictures here. So a bad management could lead to some problem of eutrophications or turbidity or hypoxia, which is the high increase in the mortality of fishes and all this stuff. It is a really important problem that we have started studying since the beginning of the Waziup project, and we are still continuing working on that problem. So one outcome of this monitoring of the water quality monitoring is that we can apply it in the fishing. So as I said before, so for example, we know now what are the critical parameters to monitor in the fishing activities. For example, the dissolved oxygen is the first one, temperature is the second one, and then we have pH and turbidity and so and so. And about air quality, so when we have a look at the level of coverage inside Africa and outside Africa, so we can see that there is a huge gap that we need to fill. So here the idea now is not exactly to deploy the same amount or the same number of sensors than what is in Africa, but now we have come to a kind of alternative, and which is the use of embedded AI in trying to predict some parameters. For example, what we can do is to identify some critical areas to monitor around the village and around the city, what we have done before with our sensors, which is the PM Nova sensor. So this sensor is the recently output sensor that we can grab for about, I don't know, $50, something like that, and which give a very, very acceptable, accurate result in terms of monitoring of P2.5 and P10. And then here, right now, what we intend to do for the air quality monitoring is now to train, to use our TensorFlow lights, so, and to see exactly how we can just use our Waziup board to predict so the parameters where we don't have the means, or where we can't afford to deploy some high quality monitoring weather station. So these works are ongoing. And another activity that is also very critical here is the management of poultry farm. So here you can see again a kind of problem tree where we represent so the different parameters and the links between them, the relationship between these parameters and the consequences and exactly it brings some insight about the real values that we can that we should to keep in the poultry to have some good environmental conditions. So here, monitoring parameters such as temperature, humidity, light, and wind are really essential. And we can see here from the edge of the in terms of weight of the chicken, so we can know exactly what is the proper temperature that we should have, what is the proper humidity that we should have, what is the proper light, air quality, and so and so. So these are some applications that we present, and all these data, we combine them with other data sources. For example, from the Fiifi project, which is located in Servane, we have also some satellite data and some competition data that we all map, that we all gather together, and publish it in an open GitHub. So here we have some data, some useful data, which are subject right now to some kind of studies for prediction, just like the tiny ML as stated before. And for challenges, so we have, of course, we have a lot of challenges. The first one is related to the diversity of people. So there are a lot of people, there are a lot of profiles. So for example, some farmers, they don't understand at all, so the tool you present to them. So you have to adapt a lot to some kind of talking strategy to them to agree on something. And also there's a language spoken by the universities or the researchers, and the status may be different for example, and sometimes, and you have to find the proper way, to communicate and to be to overcome this challenge of diversity. So technical challenge, of course. So Rahim talked about it before. So there are more people here are more powerful in building applications than in building, for example, electronic devices or something like that. It's related to our formation and some things like that. So the works support the travail. So excuse me, I put some French inside. So it's about how we work together. So the tools that we use to work together, which can be also really tricky for different kind of people. And then the skills, as you said before, and the timing to respect the timing. So one of the drawbacks of this is the COVID-19. So as we know, we had delayed because there are a lot of things that we couldn't do at the time of COVID, and then there are a lot of constraints that we needed to overcome through our way. But at the end of the day, how we move forward is organized like this. So we have the Smart Village here in Sana. We have the Smart Village team, which is composed of our partners, Sonatel, Orange, and we have the Wazihub team. And the idea is that so we keep on doing weekly meeting online, okay, where problems are reported to the Smart Village teams, and feedbacks and solutions are found together. And then at proper time, so there are milestones and deliverables that are sent to the Wazihub teams, and then we deliver also feedbacks and process everything. So that's it. That's what I wanted to present. So thank you, and excuse my French tongue for the English guys.
Thank you so much. So it was very, very interesting, and I like to see all the startups and the technologies. So if we have time just for one question, because we are quite late. Somebody wants to ask a question? No? Okay, Babacar, can you just give me one roadblock for the startups in Saint-Louis? What is the main things that slow them down, according to your experience? Is it access to hardware? Is it knowledge? What is it?
Yeah, exactly. Access to hardware is a big problem, because as you know, so you have to ship it from China or something like that. And also there is a problem of skills, as I said before. So the education here in computer science is more oriented on programming and all this stuff, but less on doing practical things like prototyping and these things. and also the ecosystem. Yeah, so I think that are one of the main problems. But usually, so people and students or startups, they can make a quick so they can quickly appropriate the tools developed in Wazihub, and they can create their devices due to the fact that we have a lot of documentation and support here.
Okay. There is a question on the power source. So how do you power the device in the field?
Exactly. So this is one of the reasons why. So we cannot deploy all the sensors at the same time, because, as you know, so sensors works with energy, and most of the time when we use LoRa, so we use to switch them off when they are not sending, and to switch them on when they are sending. And for this, right now we have a set of batteries that we designed and shipped from China, and these batteries, they can last for example, if they are sending one packet of data every 1 hour, so they can last for about 1 year. And we have about 30 batteries like that, and we use them when we need them. And another power source that we can use is the power banks, the cheap power banks that we can get from the market. So right now we can use some power banks in indoor deployment instead of the batteries.
Okay. So there is a comment from IoT Network Hub that one would like to replicate the smart village in Ghana. So that's quite interesting. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much, Babacar. Thank you. All right. So now all the questions that you have, you can keep them in your head, because you will be able to ask them to our panelists. So we arrived to the IoT Tech Hub in Africa, experience and lesson learned. And to answer those most burning questions with me, so we invited 5 speakers. The first is Emmanuel Odunlade. Hi, Emmanuel. So you can turn your microphone on. Emmanuel is an IoT consultant, an expert in hardware design, engineer. So he will be here especially to help us on the technical side and what is his vision. Hi, Prince Banini. He's a technical and training lead at Kumasi Hive. Also very expert on the IoT software, hardware, and organizational levels also. So I have some questions for you, Prince. We welcome also Joshua Opoku Ajiman, if I say it right. He's the president of the IoT Network Hub Africa, and many of those initiatives also. So I cannot read all your CV, it's too long. And very interesting to have you here also, because you are, as far as I can see, an entrepreneur, right? IoT entrepreneur, starting at a very young age and already grown our first company to the $1 million in a few years. So hi, Joshua. With us also is Margaret Njengabiri, project manager at IoT iLab Africa, Strathmore University. So Margaret has also led a big range of projects. So she will be with many technical companies and IoT companies. So she will be here also to answer to give us the angle of the management, right? It's an angle that I don't have, I'm a technical person. And last is Cheikh. Hi, Cheikh Tidiane Diop.
Hi, Corentin.
Hi. He's an innovative project and services manager at the Sonatel in Senegal, and leading many different groups and initiatives within the Sonatel. I see you are working there a long time. And on the IoT. So I have questions stacked up for you also. So hi to you all, so you can have a seat, right? And my first question, and also the public will be able to ask them some questions. So first of all, I would like, because this is a panel on tech hubs, not all of you might be in a tech hub, but I would have to have a few words of presentation of your tech hub, and so that we understand what you do, what is your main activity, right? And among those activity, if you can select for me a success story, right? Something you would like to share with us, an exciting success story, maybe a startup or a project within the tech hub. So who would like to start? Chris, do you want to start?
So as Corentin mentioned, I'm Prince. I'm a training and technical lead at Kumasi Hive. Basically, Kumasi Hive is a tech innovation hub or space. And what we focus mainly on is emerging technologies and equipping people with skills in emerging technologies for their future jobs and creation of opportunities like starting their own businesses and such. We are very passionate about young people, or should I say millennials, because the young people are the future, because they will grow up to become the future leaders and such. So if they have the skills that are required to build what is to be built before the nation can advance in terms of skills and have the required resources to meet what the future might bring, which is highly likely going to be a digital future, then that is really good. So that is what we focus mainly on. We also, from time to time, have trainings that are free in a way, because we get funding, we work for funding, and then we use the funding to run free training programs that allow people to learn skills at no cost. And then from there, if they want to start a business, we give them the training required to start their businesses. And then we also give them some seed funding, initial seed funding, for them to be able to scale up quickly before we work with them on partnering with some organization on securing more funds to expand whatever they are doing. So that is Kumasi Hive in a nutshell. And we are also situated in Kumasi, actually. So that is...
Yeah, do you have among your initiative, right, or your projects, can you give us one most successful one you are quite proud about?
Oh, okay. So we've had a number of startups come through in the past, but with regards to IoT specifically, the smart bin would be the one that I, for instance, am more passionate about, because they are bringing up a solution that is not just like a quick way of keeping Ghana clean, but it's also a way of socially re-engineering the Ghanaian people to be conscious about their environment. And that is what I found very beautiful about the solution, because it kind of puts everyone on a path that allows them to be conscious about what their little actions of throwing refuse around anywhere, wherever they are, could cause. Yeah, so the smart bin is it for me.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so a realization, right? A smart bin realization.
Yeah, sure.
Which I know it is quite interesting. Okay, thanks, Cheikh. Hi, Cheikh. Cheikh, could you present your tech activities? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Corentin. According to Sonatel, we launched an accelerator program since 2016. That name is Orange Fab. It's a group program in Orange, and we are present in around 18 countries in the 4 continents. And do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. And now we have accelerated more than 20 startups, and we help them to develop their products, and we try to make partnerships with them and help them for fundraising. And also we in our open innovation activities, we work with all Senegalese university to develop open platform like Fiifi and to help our students and researchers to have access to our open APIs like USSD, billing and SMS and mobile money too, and to share with them some use case to develop the auto entrepreneurship in this category. I think not to be alone, I think we can develop these terms inside this panel.
Yeah. So this panel is here to understand what is this tech hub movement, right, in Africa, that also Abdur talked about, and this way you're structuring the activity and technology enthusiasm and building startups. So this is what we want to hear from you in this panel. Cheikh, do you have in mind one success story you want to share?
Yes, of course. We have, I think, in the IoT field, we have one startup that's name is African Smart Citizen. I think the last part will develop this. We help them to develop their technology in Waziup field because in the first time they make their prototype in GSM technology that is taking a lot of power, and now we help them through Waziup innovation competition to have access to Waziup technology and to develop a new prototype for cattle. And I think we have more than 20 startups in the program, but for IoT field, I think it's very new in our ecosystem. And this is why sometimes it's very difficult to find some ideas in these areas. This is why Sonatel is very engaged in this project to develop this new technology, because we are convinced that IoT is a real technology shortcut for African ecosystem.
Yeah, and you're right that finding new ideas is not always easy. In IoT, there are some big ideas that comes back, and sometimes difficult to find new things to do. Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, Cheikh.
Thank you.
Hi, who is speaking?
This is Emmanuel. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hi, Emmanuel. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, could you present quickly your activity for the public?
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. It's afternoon here. Essentially, I run. I'm a co-founder at Devs District Nigeria. Basically, and Devs District Nigeria and aims aside other things that I'm involved. But basically, at Devs District, the approach is it's a bit different from what you get with the traditional setups, because what we do basically is that we provide startups, people with ideas, with human capital, the talent, the skills that you need to develop your product. That's what we do. And I mean, we've been doing that for a couple of years now. And in terms of success stories, one of the startups that I also am a co-founder, Inge basically develops bespoke IoT solutions. And I think over the years, over the past year, Inge has been quite involved locally with a number of solutions. And one of the biggest projects has worked on so far is the digitization of the ports in Nigeria. As regards that, I mean, in partnership with government and a few other software solution providers, we're able to develop IoT solutions that are saving the government about, I think, up to 100 million daily at the port. I mean, this is money that was usually, in the past, the money was lost to bribery and lack of accountability. Like that. But due to the solutions provided by ING and the software partners, we were able to bring things to a point where everything is being accounted for. And I think that's in a way is spurring more involvement into more involvement in the IoT sector. People beginning to ask questions and all that. I mean, aside from that, I mean, there are also solutions developed for industrial companies. I mean, equipment monitoring and things like that. But basically, I think that sums up what we've been able to do so far. I mean, just to reference some of the things that we've been able to do in partnership with Waziup. I mean, I think about sometimes last year, was able to work on an air quality monitoring solution that was also piloted. Maybe later in this session, we might come back to some of the challenges with that. But also, aside from the air quality monitoring solutions, we're also able to develop some water level monitoring solutions that was able to help monitor the availability of water in villages and remote areas, and to see whether the pumps that were deployed in those remote areas were actually working and providing the kind of the water that the community needed. So I think that basically sums up what we've been able to do and achieve so far. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. I'm especially interested in the technical aspect of the remote monitoring and remote deployment that you said. So we'll come to that we'll come back to you in a second. Thank you. So hi, Margaret.
Hi, Corentin.
Hi, how are you?
So
could you present the iLab Africa Center?
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Margaret from iLab Africa. I'm a project manager. And iLab Africa is a center of excellence. It's based in Strathmore University. It was started in the year 2011 under the Faculty of Information Technology. And the main aim of the center is to spearhead research and innovation in ICT4D towards the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. And we have several activities that we conduct at iLab Africa. Among them are, we have units in e-health, IT security, outsourcing, data science, digital learning, and most importantly, what we are here about today is the IoT. So in each of these units, we do projects that are geared towards those goals. Yeah. So
okay.
About success story. We have been one of the partners of the Wazihub community as iLab Africa, and I'd say we have many projects that we have that have come up under us, but one of the success stories is one project called Emergency Person Locator. I think even the founder is within the call. It's Paul Emison. And it's a project about locating a person that might be in distress. So it provides an easy way for any rescue teams to look for a person in distress by showing their particular positions on the map. So far the projects. The reason why these are success stories because that the project has advanced from a very the very idea stage until right now it's in the prototyping, nearly going to the market. So these are a big step, and I hope that it can be able to showcase to the world in future. Yeah, so that's the
that's right. So the emergency locator, right? So how to locate a person in the wild. It's also a very interesting project. So we'll finish this round of presentation, then we'll shoot out open questions. Hi, Joshua.
Hi, Corentin.
Hi,
I
how are
believe
you?
you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm quite sure you are quite expert on tech hubs. So could you present briefly your activities?
Sure. All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone from Ghana, and good afternoon to our colleagues from the eastern part of Africa. My name is Joshua, and I'm the co-founder and president for IoT Tech Hub Africa. So IoT Tech Hub Africa is an organization we started 5 years ago, and our purpose was to explore emerging technologies and use them to solve Africans' nagging problem. Over the past 5 years, we've been able to build a community to over 7,000 membership with about 10 African chapters as of now. What we look mostly into is IoT, robotics, AI, 3D printing, blockchain. So we're targeting all these emerging technologies as a community. Some of the works we've been able to achieve or done over the past years is that we've been having monthly, frequently meetups every month for the past 5 years. And when it comes to projects, in 2018, one of our projects, IoT projects, won an award from the African Entrepreneurship Award. We were able to make it to the top 30 out of 5,000. Last year, when COVID hit Ghana, we put an initiative called the Hack Corona V, which was also able to build innovative solution using IoT to combat COVID here in Ghana. And this project was also recognized by the Forbes Africa magazine. And then we also featured in the United Nations Africa Innovation, top 15 innovations fighting COVID. So I think these are some of the things that we are doing here in Ghana and in Africa. In the next 5 years, we're hoping to expand our community to all African countries. We're also looking at 1 million member base and be able to also build more projects as far as IoT is concerned. So from what we said, we're trying to build an ecosystem because we understood the architecture to be collaborative, more partnership, and more coming together to learn, explore, and then build solutions. So at IoT Tech Hub, that's what we aim to achieve.
Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. So I will ask panelists if you can switch on your camera, if you can. The network allows, so we can see you. All right, thanks. This will be more personal. Okay, so my first question is technical, right? So to all of you, and especially I would like to hear from Prince and Emmanuel. What are the IoT technologies that you see more promising now, especially in the connectivity side? What is more promising? How do you see the future of IoT on the technological side? Prince?
Yeah, Corentin. Yeah, so you let me just repeat your question again, just so I'm sure I understand what you were asking. So you said, what do we see as the more promising technology on the
where do you want to go
side?
in terms of satellites? Many things possible. What do you see more promising?
Oh, okay, yeah. So over the years, I think we can all agree that most IoT devices have had to do with cloud computing, cloud here and there. There is probably maybe a handful of solutions you can find that don't have the cloud somewhere in the whole solution, and then the cloud kind of like the thing that you cannot take out, or if you omit, things that don't work very well. So I see edge computing as like the new gold or the new ish that is promising and then growing rapidly, because lately we are seeing more and more IoT hubs, should I say, or devices that come with the hub, that everything connects to one thing, and then the processing and everything is done at one end, and then from there the information goes out to the cloud as the end part of the whole thing. So the massive heavy lifting is done on the edge section. So I believe edge computing is promising right now, because when you look at even something like Alexa or Amazon Echo, or any of these stuff that are out, you can see that they've brought the power to the device itself. So the device itself has the power to process whatever is going on and then respond, and then later puts that information or the results from that information on the cloud. So I see edge computing as the next step for us. And then I also see something that it's not really mainstream or widespread yet, but it could possibly save us when it comes to the security section of IoT. And that is blockchain for IoT security. Because we all understand how blockchain goes, or at least most of us here on the call who are technical do. Because if you do something on the chain, or if you change something on your end of things, if it is not the same thing corresponding with every other information everyone has, then that information is dropped or seen as inferior. So if we have like maybe 1 billion IoT devices that are linked together on a blockchain basis, the hacking and the security issues that we face often would go away over time. Because now if someone hacks and then puts something that is not supposed to be there, then that information doesn't correspond with what is there for the rest, and that information gets dropped. Okay. So things like
you will investigate blockchain within Kumasi Hive.
Not necessarily we investigate it, but like over time, that is something we've seen as one way IoT can go, as one of the promising paths IoT can take. Blockchain for IoT security. Yeah. Okay. What
the other thing? So you have an opinion on the question, Emmanuel? Yeah.
I think that when we look at Africa in context, agriculture has been a key driver of our growth economically, and we all know that agriculture, the IoT agriculture, agritech, it has been one of the key drivers of our economies over the past years, ever since we were born. So being able to bring these solutions to the agriculture space, I think, is one of the key area. Reason being that our farmers, or smallholder farmers, are dependent on the weather to be able to predict what to grow. Irrigation has also been a challenge. So I see IoT play a very huge role in the agriculture space here in Africa or in Ghana. When it also comes to healthcare, being able to have access to information, especially there have been instances in Ghana where you take a patient to the hospital and unfortunately there will be no bed for the patient. So assuming we have sensors that can tell which beds are available at any point in time, we don't have to wait for emergencies. And some of these patients that were even transferred from one hospital to the other because they didn't have beds. So I see so many opportunities or areas where IoT in Ghana or Africa is more applicable. When you also take transportation, for instance, GPS tracking has been playing a significant role for the past years now. What if we can go ahead to add more data or collect more data, like your fuel range, your driver's behavior, road accidents, to be able to also help minimize the challenges we face in that space. So this is where I see most of the technologies or IoT pushing forward. And as Prince talked or mentioned, having the edge, we have connectivity challenges. So our ability to be able to also have edge computing at the point of data collection is very, very key. Because imagine what Dr. Babacar is already working on. You have to transmit all this data from the farm to one central point before you can make analytics or prediction. It's going to take so long time, and it's so expensive. So if we can also push into the edge so that at the point of data collection in the farm, at least some decisions can be made there before, if the need be, that we push the data to the cloud for a high AI model or machine learning model to be able to work on. We can be able to also do that. So this is what I see most to be key driver in the space here, being able to have enough data and be able to have the AI models to be able to analyze this data.
So AI on the edge, right?
Yes, please, edge.
To put the AI on the edge, all right. Yeah, the next question is on the funding level. So how do you support your startups? This question for Cheikh. And is there any opportunities that you wish to explore now regarding the funding, especially? You want to answer, Cheikh?
Thank you, Corentin, for this important question. Just to talk about strategic aspect, there are 5 years ago, we integrate IoT in our diversification program. And we launched also the accelerator program to be able to select a startup working on this field. Just to say that IoT is a very important and priority for Sonatel strategy. And what we did is we worked with like 5 responsible of fundraising. We can talk about Teranga Capital, where Sonatel is limited partners. And we have also Partech Africa with Tidiane Dem, and all these responsible are members of our mentors who help the startups, and with them we try to make a fundraising, and we also have a public partner like DARE. DARE is a government partner, which one we already finance, I think, 90% of our startups. And what is important to have the government in our partnership is to open opportunities for Emagri and breeders too. I talked before about smart citizen, African smart citizen startups. And also internally, we launched this year a new venture capital with 100 for Sonatel, and we make for the initial budget around 2 billion CFA. And as I said before, we are sure that IoT is a big potential, and we focus for major startups in this field. And we are very open for the other categories of startups, but we are just to say that we are very engaged in this ecosystem and to work and to take shareholders with the startups.
Okay, thank you so much. So you accompany the startups, you help them, right, in funding the funds and replying to open calls and things like that. And you are also doing the open calls.
Yes, but the most important, I think, is partnership with these startups to launch together new offers for our customers, because Sonatel Group is around 6 African countries. We have Mali, both Ghana, Benin now, and we have also Sierra Leone. Donc we have a regional hub where we have around more than 30 million of customers, and it's a big opportunity for this startup to reach orange market in West Africa.
Yeah, to reach their clients. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Next question is for Margaret. Hi, Margaret. So on the community building. So community building, you know, all the competency and how to build. Now with COVID, of course, it's also more complex. So how do you see this can be improved? What is missing in the current ecosystem and the current communities?
All right. Thank you, Corentin. First of all, in terms of the ecosystem, it's like Abdur had mentioned, it's composed of various actors. We can talk of the various hubs. There is academia, which means training. There is the government and also the business sector. So in terms of the hubs, first to note is that there are very low number of women who are participating in IoT, in the IoT field. Case to say, even in this call, the number of women are very few, and I think there's an existing gap that needs to be filled. So even in the terms of the courses that we've been conducting, the hubs, the boot camps, the trainings, the number of women that show up are very few. Then the other thing is that we have the resources. For example, for us, we have the resources in terms of the technical capacity. We have the space, but however, they're not being utilized. So we announced that the space is available for use by the selected startups, but however, the particular startups do not make full use or adequate use of them. Then in terms of training.
But what do you mean they don't make a full use? I didn't understand.
In terms, okay, I'm saying, for example, when we ask the startups to come use our space, since we have a fully well-equipped IoT center at iLab Africa, there are very few startups who can make use of the equipment that we have.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a there's a gap.
That's interesting. So because they are not aware,
there's not
or
much progress. Pardon?
Okay, it's a question of awareness, or a question of they are just it's too much effort to come, or what is the problem?
I think it's because we create awareness, so we have to find out if it's in terms of availability, creating time for developing your particular startup. Yeah, but the awareness is there. Yeah.
Okay.
So then, in terms of the training, the particular startups that we have, they come in, they have the idea, a very good idea. They present it and we accept it, but however, they don't advance beyond the prototyping stage, and that is why during the last stage of the innovation competition, the proposal was to help the businesses to, in terms of the business side. So even at our hub, we have an incubation center called IBIS Africa that helps startups to advance beyond the idea and prototyping stage to go to market. Then,
I think you are right, and I saw this gap also, that it's easy to make a prototype and to showcase it, and but going develop a real business is much more steps, and there is a huge gap between the two. So interested to know how you fill it up.
Yeah.
That you are making the incubation.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes, please.
We are doing that through our incubation center called IBIS Africa. Trying to link the startups with the possible angel investors, or you can pitch your idea and you can be linked up with mentors, coaches, and possibly investors who are interested in your idea. So that's how we're filling up that gap.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So,
any other comments from the panelists? So how you push the startups going to business? This is my question.
Okay, so what we usually do is that we set them up with our business team. So after they've done their technical parts, like build their stuff, come up with their engineering specifications, they make an MVP, and they're able to test it and pilot it, and they think everything is fine now. So then we'll give them, we'll put them in touch with our business team, and then they would look at how to develop a business model canvas, how to do research on customer acquisition, and then do some research on the markets that they are trying to enter and all of that. And then we use design thinking to refactor whatever they find into the solution that they are proposing. Sometimes we do that right in the beginning, but there are certain times when people actually come with their idea already or with a solution already. So now we have to find a way to factor in the other remaining part. So yes, so after their business trainings and all of that, they can now use the skills they've gotten to pilot the product again, because they can't just take it straight to market. They'll still have to pilot it and find out whether what they've come up with will work or not work. And then from there, we can develop a go-to-market strategy. And then they can now try to implement that and see how that also goes.
Yeah. So I think it's a huge challenge, right? So you agree with me? This go-to-market. I wanted to hear also from Joshua, what is your take on this big? What is the biggest challenge? Is it the biggest challenge? Do you see any other challenge facing IoT startups?
Sure. So for me, this what I say, the architecture for IoT is quite ambiguous, which means that if you're a startup, you will have to have all the skills on board before you can be able to build your solution to the market. Building a prototype is very easy, but then taking the product from prototype to market is the hardest. And before you can be able to take your product to the market, you're looking at cloud platforms, you're looking at firmware, you're looking at hardware development. And one person or one engineer can't handle all this work. So it requires a team to start as a startup, which is also expensive to have such a team. It's not like when you take software development, for instance, you can be the sole developer and start a business and build to some extent before you get more team to join. But with the IoT space, it's quite difficult. That one person will be very good at engineering, build all the hardware and firmware, build the apps, build the cloud.
Yeah, there are many different skills.
Exactly. So that's one of the challenge I see in this space. Unless you are collaborative or working with partners, it becomes so hard to be able to break into the IoT startup space. And looking at the fact that when it comes to manufacturing, you can't literally produce them locally. I'm talking from Ghana perspective. It's very hard and very expensive, even if possible, to build a PCB board or a circuit design in Ghana. So mostly, we design the schematic, send it to China, and China will produce, we assemble, program the firmware before you can be able to test them. So these are some of the challenges I actually see in the ecosystem. Being able to get your products from the idea to the market is one of the greatest.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Joshua, I keep the word of the hand for you. So in 2 words, what is your best advice you can give to IoT startups to be successful?
For me, I think...
To conclude this session.
All right, thank you once again. I really believe IoT is the future or the driver for the 4th industrial revolution, which also means that it's going to create a whole new industry in the next years to come, which has already started. And we also all know that data is the new oil now. So if you're looking at building something for the future, it has to be around data. And you can't build a system to collect enough data if it's not IoT. Data, as in precision of data, accuracy of data, localized data, it's quite difficult unless IoT. And IoT also forms the basis foundation for all these emerging technologies. If you're building AI, you need data. If you're going to 3D printing, you need to build a component, the hardware, the devices to case them. If you're looking at blockchain, we're also talking about data. So data now has become the driver of economy. So I will encourage everybody who is already working in the space or interested in the space to still keep fighting. It's too early. That's why there are so many challenges. But I think in the next years to come, if we still keep fighting, all these challenges will be overcome. And collective effort is also important. Nobody can be able to achieve this alone. So we have to have collaborative mindset, open for partnership, and be able to push this agenda. This is what I would like to share.
Thank you so much. I think it's a good conclusion for the panel. Okay, thank you so much to everybody. Now it's a time to go see the concrete stuff, right? about the IoT startups.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Eliman Khan from Senegal. And we have created 2 years back a startup named Africa Smart Citizens. And we aim to eradicate the theft of cattle. So together, let's eradicate livestock theft. So our value proposition is to give protection against theft of cattle. What we do is we have developed a smart collar, a smart GPS collar, to help breeders with or against cattle theft by geolocating their animals. What is the problem? In Senegal, each year, the government is losing more than 4 million USD. And in 2016, in Nigeria, they have lost more than 300,000 cattle in the north of Nigeria. So that means a shortfall of 130 million USD. So that is very important. So regarding the market opportunity, in Senegal, we have 61% of the people here that are practicing livestock. And the real market share in Africa is more than 10 billion USD. So I'm going to skip these economic details. So what we do is we have created a smart collar that will help to have early detection of livestock theft by geolocation. So we have 3 triggers. One of the triggers is when the people is trying to cut the collar. So when the people is trying to vandalize it. This is one trigger. Next trigger is we have geofencing feature. When the animal is far from the security perimeter, then we will receive alarm again. Third trigger is when we have high speed, when the animal is put in a truck. So what will happen is the system will send 3 SMSs to 3 different numbers. And 5 seconds later, it will call each number with a pre-recorded audio that is in a local language, so that to tell the owner that something is happening in his farm. Third is an example of kind of SMS that is sent. So you receive an SMS within side, you have warning, the collar is being severed. Click to this link to see the position. So you have the real-time position where the trigger has been raised. Okay, I have here one video. So if we have time, we can come back to this video. But this is a picture of what is it like. So this is a smart collar. It's very small, but we have different type of smart collar. The size is different depending on the battery autonomy we need. So this one is going to last 1 month. We have another one that can last 8 months. We are working to have another one that can last more than 1 year. So you see here example of how it looks like. As a business model, we're going to give a setup fee of like 30 USD for just the setup fee and a monthly fee of around 4 USD. And here we have a yearly margin of 44%. These are our unit economics, the projections, you can skip. Then our impact is to increase security for the breeders and the animals, increase the revenue for the breeders. Also, we know that in this area, in this sector, people used to fight. When you have a theft, they fight between them, and sometimes you have murders. So it can help to have less deaths and injuries in this sector. We can also help the government to reach national self-sufficiency in milk, meat, and Tabaski sheep. Tabaski is a yearly feast, Islamic feast. So we need to kill a sheep that day. So sometimes we have lack of sheep because people are not having enough. Okay, these are some unit economics. I can skip them. This is a picture for the year 2019 with the president. We discussed with him and we showed him our prototype. Waziup impact. So Waziup helped us to know about LoRa technology. This is the main thing, because as Cheikh Diop said it before from Corentin, we have our first prototype was a GSM system, and that was consuming a lot of energy, and the battery was going down very quickly. So with the Waziup, we have learned about LoRa technology. We have received a LoRa development kit, meaning gateway, GPS, Arduino, those stuff. We have also got some touching and support that helped us to create our new prototype. And the competition and the challenge also helped us to have a deadline and to go fast, to work more than normal hours so that we can finish that prototype at time. And last thing is the follow-up as what you are doing now. So it was very impactful on our side. Our needs or challenges is when we finished our prototype, everything was working fine. But when we went back to the breeders, we have found one new issue. That was the aesthetic side. Because when we finished, the collar was a little bit big. The size was not very small. So they rejected the smart collar because of the size. So that means we need to have new PCB board for tiny electronic board creation, because still now we are working with hands, so we need to have components that we can see and we can touch with our hands so that we can make fusion. So these are our challenges: power optimization tool, how to miniaturize our smart collar, and how to have like a manufacturing unit so that we can create a PCB board for tiny electronic creation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, very, very nice to see, interesting. Okay, thanks. And next is Agritechs.
Okay, so my name is Jeff, and I work with Agritechs Company Limited. We are a Tanzania-based startup company that's focused on. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. That's focused on promoting and practicing controlled environment agriculture by combining soil-less farming or hydroponics with the Internet of Things. So our product is a combination of hydroponics and IoT, and we call it smart hydroponics. It stands to promote affordability, profitability, and the convenience of practicing climate smart agriculture and the controlled environment agriculture, as well as urban farming. In Tanzania, over 70% of people are engaged in agriculture, and 70% of those smaller farmers are highly valuable.
IoT Day online.
Yes, okay.
70% of those farmers are highly vulnerable to climate change, leading to significantly low, unreliable, and consistent productivity. So we bring smart hydroponics, which is a combination of soilless farming and Internet of Things, to help those farmers farm independent of the climate status. That's climate smart agriculture, and it helps to make the climate smart agriculture affordable, profitable, and convenient at both household scale and commercial scale. So we make the smart hydroponics by using locally available materials and it's also profitable because it enables people to grow throughout the year. Anyway, it's independent of the climate. It grows yield by 500%, reduces water use by 90%, and the food grown by using smart agriculture is pesticide-free. It's also convenient because it uses it is enabled by IoT to have a feature of remote and real-time monitoring by using electronic sensors that detect the value of the parameters that influence the growth of the plants. So here is how it works. Very shortly, we have this hydroponic system, and then we have the IoT aspect that collect information and send the information to the farmers about the parameters that influence the growth of the plant. Such parameters include pH, nutrient level, temperature, and water level. So we have over 2 years of experience integrating hydroponics with IoT since we joined Wazihub in 2018. We have successfully tested and built and tested IoT-based projects and executed a total of 3 of such projects successfully. Experience with Wazihub, we joined Wazihub 2018, so we've been working together for the past 2 years on hardware and cloud-based technologies. And through Wazihub, we were able, initially we just had the basic hydroponics feature, and then through Wazihub, we were able to combine the hydroponics with the IoT to make smart hydroponics, which is one of the most important features of our product. I will skip the market and run into revenue model, which is we have 3 revenue models. The first one is sale of technology. The second is sale of fresh produce from our demo farm, and third is after sales services. So we charge 30% from the technology sale and up to 75% of the profit margin from the fresh produces. The after sales services vary, percentage of charging vary, and we have the major milestones is.
Pregod, you have 1 minute to finish.
Okay. We've executed a total of 80 projects, and we run as a fully registered company. And these are some of our traction. And right now we have a team that has a background in different aspects that make a fully combination of based on our project. Way forward, we are raising $50,000 to fix the loopholes on the project, but also to invest in a commercial scale farm to attract customers for the technology and selling produces to high-end markets in Tanzania. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, very, very interesting. Next is FarmSense.
Good day, everyone. So I'm Raymond from FarmSense, and I'll be talking about the FarmSense project. So in the next couple of minutes, I'll run you through the introduction, our solution, our impact, our Wazihub and IoT experience, and our way forward as a team. Africa is said to have one of the largest arable, cultivatable lands, but yet still we have one of the poorest yields. One may begin to wonder why or what's contributing to this poor yield. There are quite a number of contributing factors to this, but one of the most pressing issues of all is our inability to be able to monitor our fertility levels in real time. Irrespective of the existence of soil testing labs to be able to carry out the test on fertility levels of soil, they come at very high cost, making it usually unaffordable for smallholder farmers and rural farmers to be able to afford. The existence of farm extension officers is rightly acknowledged, but due to the very large ratio of about 1 extension officer to about 1,500 farmers, this makes the extension services rendered by extension officers very inefficient because they are not able to reach as much farmers as possible to be able to offer the best of services. This actually leads to farmers carrying out certain bad farming practices or cultural practices on their farmlands due to their inability or access to farm extensions, which basically leads to an increase in nitrous oxide emissions by humans, which is about 80%, of which these bad farming cultural practices also contribute a larger quota to this percentage. And FarmSense is an agri-tech solution that seeks to enhance precision agriculture, improve yields, and minimize negative climatic impacts. We offer a wide range of services, that's the soil testing. And with our soil testing, our affordable, portable, and highly sensitive soil testing device provides farmers with real-time comprehensive soil test information that reflects the true nature of their soils. These sensors are easy to install and work in most agricultural settings. With our extension advice service, it provides farmers to receive real-time actionable insights on their farm status. They use the right amount of fertilizer and other additives and better to help combat pests and diseases. And this also helps reduce guesswork and also maximizes efficiency while reducing waste. With our farm profile service, we actually give access to farmers' risks through predicting harvest time, their quantity, quality of harvest, and their ability to sell. This data is coupled with previous financial histories that are used in credit scoring models to build farmer profiles to facilitate credit applications. Our other service, which includes the access to markets, actually bridges the gap between farmers and agricultural input sources and the market by offering such collective information on a single platform. We connect farmers directly to buyers, thus ensuring a competitive price for all produce. And the FarmSense product comes in two modules. Our first module being the soil meter module, which is basically very portable, meaning that it can be movable. And this one measures some major soil parameters, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and some other. Now, the major communication module for this device is the Bluetooth. So once a farmer inserts the probe into the soil for testing its fertility or some soil nutrients, the farmer is required to have his or her smartphone within a set proximity or range in order to be able to allow for the transmission of this data onto the phone. Now, this is very easy to use and user-friendly in the sense that you simply just have to insert the probe into the soil and leave it up to the FarmSense application to analyze and for you to take action, in the sense that the FarmSense application gives recommendations in terms of agriculture extension services. And the next module is the FarmSense sensor kit. So this kit comes with a master node and a number of slave nodes that are stationed at various points on the farm land. Now, one unique thing about this module is that it has the ability to be able to also monitor atmospheric conditions within the farm. That's the humidity and sunlight intensity, which actually affects fertility rates as well. In addition, it also measures soil parameters. And the major communication module for this kit is the use of the LoRa technology that's used in transmitting data from the slave nodes to the master node. And then the master node actually uploads this to the FarmSense dashboard using cellular connectivity. Now, easier to run this because you also just need to install this as being stationary on the farm and then leave it up to the FarmSense dashboard to do the analysis and take action for you. Now, with one of our platforms, which is the mobile app, it offers a wide range of services that's allowing farmers to be able to monitor or manage all their devices, to know when a device is either up or temporarily down due to either a technical issue or a very minor issue. It also allows farmers to be able to have a real-time monitoring of the fertility levels of their soil, in the sense that data received from these individual nodes or devices are displayed in the application to give them a real analytics of what goes on. Now, we also provide farmers with a community platform. That's one of the biggest farmer community platforms where farmers can interact, sell, learn, and connect with experts. Now, I'll run you through a video of how the solution works.
All right, so we've also developed a dashboard that provides key data analytics to the farmer. So if you could look at my screen currently, you could look at the analytics that we provide to farmers. So the data also provide information on the total crops that the farmer is cultivating and gives a fair idea of the soil condition of the farm. So we are also able to monitor all the locations in the farm where the devices are being installed. We are also looking at integrating satellite imagery such that to be able to do real-time analysis of the farm and then give key data analytics to the farmers. Now
Raymond, we need to conclude also in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is just some little business. So the global soil testing equipment market is being projected to grow at an annual rate of 12.8%. So we expect to tap into this particular market and reach out to more farmers. And locally, if you look at the Ghana, the context of Ghana, we are looking at government policies like planting for food and jobs, and then increasing adoption of agri-tech by ADRA, which is a private initiative. So these are our competitions. We group them into 2 sectors. The first sector is currently focusing on approaching it from a chemistry perspective. So they have the Asasipa test kits. So these are some of the complexities of it. It's complex to understand, and then we always have to refill this reagent. And then the other sector approaches from a soil testing by setting up laboratories in the various communities, and then these are very expensive. The results are not able to farmers are not able to understand the result due to the complexities in which the results have been given out to the farmers. So this is our impact. We are driven by 3 of the SDGs: no poverty, zero hunger, climate action. So we've joined the Wazihub program in last year, 2020, at Kumasi Hive, and we've been able to integrate our existing IoT solutions into the Wazihub framework. And then these are the key advantages, or these are the key benefits that we've derived from the working with Wazihub. We've been able to have access to the free IoT Open API and cloud platform, which enables us to build our customized farm sense application, especially the dashboard. And we've also been able to access IoT researchers and key market experts to help us in our products. So this is what we intend to do now. We've been able to build a market-ready product. So we intend to use the feedback from the piloting of our market minimum viable product to build a market-ready product with orders and components. So we expect the components to be in the country, hopefully ending of this week. So we start building our market-ready prototype. And then we intend to also develop our go-to-market strategy with the help of technical experts from Kumasi Hive, and then we partner with some local telcos that would develop or design special SIM cards, because the kits, the farm sensor kits, are going to send data from the farm to the dashboard via cellular connectivity. So we need special SIM cards for this particular application. So this is the team behind it: myself, John, Francis, Raymond, and Abraham. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think we learned a lot of interesting things, and also for the networking, so you can stay in touch with the other teams. Okay, I think we can go with Cedric now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Cedric, and I'm from Uganda. I'm the team leader for pre-care. So pre-care relates to a lot to do with health of pregnant mothers, like during pregnancy. That's where we got the name from. So yeah, this is me. It's Cedric. I'm a student, software engineering student, and I'm very passionate about IoT and technology and all. So we have been identifying, seeing in our country, for example, in Uganda, and zeroing back to our villages, we see that a lot of mothers die every day due to pregnancy-related complications. And so much of the people who are dying right now, 99% of these problems that relate to pregnancy occur in developing countries. And Uganda being one of the developing countries, that's why we came up with our problem and then trying to find solutions. And now when you see the statistics of Uganda, shows that approximately 16 women die every day, let's say, due to pregnancy-related complications. And that's an approximation of a taxi car accident claiming whole life. So we came up with a solution to see that we help these mothers who are dying because of these pregnancy-related complications using IoT. So you might be asking yourself, what is pre-care? What does really pre-care look like? Or what is it trying to solve? So Precare, it's an IoT wearable device that helps health workers to remotely monitor health vitals of pregnant mothers during their pregnancy by having their temperature, heartbeat, pressure, GPS location tracked in real time. So it's made in a way that it's a wearable device. I bet you all of you know what a smartwatch is. So we're looking at what a smartwatch does, but then we are trying to apply in a local way that can be accessible and cheap to be used by all these people in villages, that can involve less of them using a lot of internet bundles to see that they're tracked in real time. And yeah, so we remotely track health vitals and notifies the mothers in real time without so much need of internet. So our idea is I can say is in a prototyping stage. Many people have been sharing about how far they're going with everything, and for us, I think we are in the process of still developing the. We have not yet gotten to the market. We have been to the market to really find out what they need, and then we are in the development to see that we get to the market with the final product. So Precare works in a manner that a pregnant mother wear this device, like a wearable device. So we're using many different sensors, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. We're using the Wazihub technologies that these sensors pick the values from the mother and sends it to the cloud. And from the cloud there is where the doctor will be able to get real-time notifications of each and every single mother that subscribes to this device, that keeps on wearing this device, because we're looking at the mother wearing the device, let's say 3 times a day, such that health vitals can be tracked and then pushed to the doctor. And then from the doctor side, we were trying to bring in the machine learning bit and AI, where these mothers are notified in real time whether they have smartphones or they don't really have smartphones, to use, SMS to give notifications to them about how healthy they are, how they're performing generally, and then to give them some little advice. And also we have included another part where they can interact with the doctors from wherever place the doctors are. So we are in the process of working on developing and making sure that this device is used in the market there. And someone said earlier on that coming up with an idea might be hard, but it's not as hard as picking from a prototype stage to get into the market. And that's where we are right now, and we're looking forward. So we made some sort of 3D designs that it's actually underway being printed.
So we're working on the 3D design, and it's underway being finished. So also, as the 3D design is being modeled, this is just like not many people would love to look at this, but it's actually the setup of the things that we're trying to put together. And when you look on your right on the screen, it's how we really want this to be wearable, such that a mother can wear and then feel at ease, like just wearing a normal watch, such that they can enjoy as well, not burdening them with all these wires and all stuff. And then we have done a lot of activities. We have done a pilot study to villages and interviewed about 20 different mothers about these devices. And we have done surveys in different health centers to meet the doctors and interact with them about how this device could be, and how they would love it. And we're working on the 3D modeling. And then now the process comes, because right now we in school and trying to finish up with final year stuff, and we're also looking for funds to really support the whole development, so that we are able to really produce these things the way we want them, because there's also issues to deal with finances sometimes. And our business model, we are looking at, there's B2B and then there is B2C. And then when we talk about B2B, we're really looking at health centers, like hospitals, like different health institutions, that they will be able to buy these devices from us. And we're looking at $20, like for them to buy these devices, they can pay $20. And then we're looking at B2C. So that's the pregnant mothers, the customers that we're really looking, the primary customers, that they will subscribe to this device for their pregnancy, that they will be using it during that course of the time that they're pregnant, and then they can subscribe, because you can't just buy the whole device, because you will not get pregnant for the rest of your life. You can use it for a particular period of time, and then something like that. And then I was
been asked to share my experience in IoT. Like I see IoT is the way of the future, because right now there's a lot of things that are coming up, and when you take a critical look, you find that most of the things are centered on IoT. And then there is also interconnection of different devices. I've been really looking at how can I really make my hardware communicate with software when I was in my senior for vacation, and I've been thinking of how can this be possible. And I came to realize that all the things are possible actually when I came for the Wazihub program. And then well-defined processes saves times in IoT, and that is why we are all here trying to put all these processes down so that we can save time in doing other things that we need to be running here and there. And then I love the creative thinking and bringing new ideas and problem approach. And then also my experiences with Wazihub, actually with most of the things I've experienced with Wazihub, I've been exposed to so many different competitions and startups and skills and participating in different stuff and winning awards because of being part of this IoT, the Wazihub program. And then with Wazihub, I love Wazihub technology. It's like I love how things are done, like the sensors, things are really easy to use, and I love working together with the team, because one of the things that was really key in the Wazihub project is teamwork. That it was really good, though it's challenging the teams, but it's important to work with the team if you really need to make that far journey. And then the technology is simplified and creative thinking highly encouraged. And then our way forward that we're really looking towards to is, the product development is ongoing, and we are sourcing for funding for further development, like getting to meet other different people that might maybe be interested in what we're doing, and then see that we can move forward with our development. And also we have reached out to some people at the Ministry of Health to really, because we are trying to tackle health and we really don't want to give false information to the community. So there's a lot of vetting of the device and trying to really see how best the device can work. And thank you so much. And this is my team. And
thank you, Cedric.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank also for the nice word on the Waziup technology. It's nice to hear. So yeah, and we'll continue work together with Break Care, which is very promising. Thank you. So I think that is concluding our meeting.
Yeah. Thank you, Corentin, for leading this call. It was really great to have you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.